Hi, ready to talk about Kaladin again? I am. My previous video about Kaladin was from The Way of Kings. This one will be all about Kaladin and his character arc from Words of Radiance. So if you're watching this, you will want to have read The Way of Kings and Words of Radiance because there will be spoilers. So, Kaladin has made it. He survived. He saved the bridge crews. The big purpose that he gave himself in The Way of Kings and the thing that got him through and got him over his depression, at least through that book, he has accomplished. He did it. Now he has a new purpose for his life. Or you could say he lost his old purpose. Because as a bridgeman, there was a constant fight and battle for their very lives. They had to strive every day just to live. Kaladin really had to work on the relationships he made with those men. Nothing about his life in Bridge 4 was easy. Now he has overcome that, and now it could be easy to think, what are we striving for now? Life could almost seem too easy now. What do they work towards now? And that's just something that Kaladin and Bridge 4 kind of have to figure out through this book. What is their purpose now? And the bridge crew all goes to get tattoos together. Well, they don't go to get them, they get someone to come to them and tattoo their foreheads. They get to cover their slave brands. This is such a powerful representation to them of their new freedom. They were supposed to die as slaves. They weren't supposed to be free. And now they're free and they're together and they have new purpose, and these tattoos are so meaningful to them. Have you ever gone to get a tattoo and someone's like, it better mean something, you're gonna have it for the rest of your life? Oh, Bridge 4 knows. But Kaladin's doesn't stick. This tattoo is supposed to say freedom, and his doesn't stay. So it kind of feels to him like he doesn't really get true freedom yet. Kind of like as the tattoo won't stick, his freedom won't really stick either. At least he's afraid of that. He's always afraid that somehow the Light Eyes are going to take from him what he has. That's how he feels about his new surge binding abilities. He doesn't want to tell even Dalinar, who he wants to trust so badly, because he's afraid that somehow they'll take it from him, just like they've taken everything else in his life. So new purpose, new meaning to his life. Kaladin has a new job. He's not a slave anymore. He doesn't have to carry a bridge anymore. Even though the mantra throughout this book is still Bridge 4, he doesn't lead just Bridge 4 anymore. Kaladin is given this guard duty over the Kholin family. This is going to be a big job. He knows that it's going to be hard. He is going to struggle with this job, but he knows it can be done. And he doesn't only have Bridge 4 now, he has all the other bridge crews to work with, and he has to try to train them. Kaladin has this great idea, and it really was a great idea. He decides that he's going to take turns taking the other bridge crews down into the chasms to train, just like Bridge 4 did. The other bridge crews knew that there was something different about Bridge 4, something that made them a little bit special. And so by Kaladin taking them into the chasms and bringing them in and inviting them to join what Bridge 4 had, they're getting to join in on what made Bridge 4 special. And that helps a lot with the attitude problems. So good job, Kaladin. A couple other things that stood out to me about Kaladin and Words of Radiance. How it seems like everyone else believes in Kaladin so strongly. His men have faith in him. Dalinar has faith in him, but he's having so much trouble having faith in himself. And there's a part where I think they're in the chasms. I don't remember exactly. Syl asks Kaladin why he didn't laugh. And she said that he used to laugh. Even if it was fake and he was just, putting on a show for the men, he used to laugh and smile more. So why doesn't he now? If life is better, shouldn't Kaladin be happier now? Shouldn't he feel like laughing and smiling now? Again, Sanderson shows such a good understanding of how a depressed mind works because, yeah, his circumstances improved, but depression isn't about circumstances. And as anyone who has gone through depression before can understand, an improvement in your circumstances can bring relief, but it's generally a temporary relief. It's not a magical cure. His life as a bodyguard and a captain are so much better than his life would have ever been as a bridgeman and slave. But he's still Kaladin. He's still the same person, and he will still always struggle with his dark thoughts. And there was a really good moment. Kaladin is sucking in Stormlight, and the Stormlight doesn't heal his inner wounds and his inner turmoil. The Stormlight can only heal you physically. It can't heal other mental or emotional issues. But then later, he goes and spends time with his men, and that cheers him, and that helps lift him up, something that Stormlight couldn't do. And I think that was a really powerful way to show just how strongly relationships with people can help a person. Oh, and he finally meets Shallan partway through this book, and he's not impressed. Why should he be? She takes his shoes, and he's already prejudiced against light eyes. Of course, light eyes like to toy with dark eyes. That's just what they do. So I feel like there's two main things that really go on for Kaladin in this book that kind of change his story arc and the direction that it's going. Part of that is his relationship with Amaram. He really can't stand hearing people talk positively about Amaram. Amaram is supposed to be the new first Knight Radiant. I don't think so. And so Adolin is in this duel that he accidentally set up to be done very unfairly towards himself. And Kaladin takes it upon himself to jump in and help. It's that moment where he says, honor is dead, but I'll see what I can do. And what I don't hear people quote is the end of that, which is where Kaladin says, if anything happens to me, take care of my men. He cares more about his men than about Adolin, but Kaladin is a good enough person, he's gonna help Adolin anyway. And after this duel, which they win of course, Kaladin tries to claim a duel with Amaram. And he kind of makes the king angry, and the king arrests him and puts him in prison. And now he's back in a cage. And he's back in this cage for reasons that he feels like are due more to racism than to actual justice. And he's not completely wrong. Even Dalinar tells him that the fact that he is a Dark Eyes was a factor. It still matters, even though it shouldn't in their society. It is a factor in how people judge him. And then, while he's there, he also finds out that Elhokar is the one who is to blame for sending Rashon to his village while he was young. So now he has all these reasons to really hate the king, and his anger just simmers inside of him. He has nothing to do. He's sitting in prison, bored, just thinking about how upset and angry he is, no matter what Syl tries to say to him. And so as he's thinking all these things, he comes to the conclusion that, yeah, the kingdom would actually be better off without Elhokar and with Dalinar in charge. And so now he makes a decision that really hurts his relationship with Syl, and that's to help his friend Moash. He was not happy finding out that his friend Moash was part of a plot to assassinate the king. He was so firmly against it. Our job is to protect him. You can't go killing him. And it was that time that he spent in prison that he was like, well, you know what? Maybe it wouldn't be so bad after all. And he justifies this decision from a surgeon's point of view. Sometimes the festering leg needs to be cut off. Now, when he comes out of prison, he is really impressed that Adolin took part in the imprisonment with him. That was a great, upstanding move by Adolin, and I am proud of him. But this decision he makes, and this double promise, one to protect Dalinar and the king and that family, and the other to Moash to hurt and kill the same person, really hurts his bond with Syl. She's worried about what his hate of Amaram is doing to him, but she also literally can't handle what his decision is doing to her and to them. After that is the whole episode in the chasms, and that whole time Kaladin doesn't have Syl. He's lost her. She's not with him anymore. He and Shallan have this nice little bonding time. They kind of start their friendship, and they learn some interesting things about each other, and they find out that they have more in common than they thought. And both of them kind of start to think, hey, maybe this other person's not so bad, if you know what I mean. In fact, once they finally make it out of the chasms, Kaladin is kind of hoping that Shallan will notice him and pay attention to him and look at him, and then he's like, oh yeah, she's with Adolin. Never mind. And so now they've come out of the chasm, the army is going to go off to fight the Parshendi, and Kaladin is being left behind. He is injured. He has no Syl, no Stormlight, no healing, and he's agonizing over the fact that he has probably killed Syl. She called it. She told him that this is what would probably happen. This has happened before. He didn't expect to actually have it happen. And he can't stand the thought that this is what he has done to her. And then we come to what I see as the second big turning point for him in this book. We are almost to the end of the book. You probably know what I'm referring to because you've read the book. When Kaladin goes to visit Zahale and says, how do I make a decision between two equally bad things? And Zahale says, I would choose the thing that helps me sleep at night. And so Kaladin thinks, well, okay, what's going to help me sleep at night? And he starts thinking about his brother Tien. And he thinks about how Tien did his best and did what he could, and someone else still thought that he should die. And he starts to see the parallel of how that's like Elhokar. Elhokar is trying his best. He may not be the best king, but he's doing what he can. He's trying, and how dare they think that he deserves to die because of that. And Kaladin kind of has this epiphany that Elhokar is Dalinar's Tien. And so Kaladin goes and basically hunts down the king. He has to find him. He has to protect him. Kaladin is a protector. He saves people. That's what he does. And he's wrestling with why he's doing this. Why does he feel like he needs to protect the king? He doesn't like the king. He doesn't think that Elhokar is a good king, but he's still rushing to save him. Why? And in this wrestling with himself and why he's doing this, leads to him swearing his next ideal. I will protect even those I hate, so long as it is right. He gets Syl back. He gets his shard blade, shard spear. He scares off Graves and Moash. He saves Elhokar. He flies off into the storm to defeat the assassin in white. And he is now Knight Radiant Kaladin. So, tell me, friends, what was your favorite Kaladin moment from Words of Radiance? Let me know. I'd love to talk about Kaladin some more with you. Subscribe to my channel for more character studies from fantasy and science fiction. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me. I know it's my destiny.